Hi everyone, how are you doing? I hope everyone is doing well. So, welcome again to a new video in your channel Learn Fluent English. So today we continue speaking about grammar, learning grammar, teaching grammar, and focus on the importance of learning grammar. So today I will speak a little bit about what do we mean by grammar. Okay, so what do we mean by grammar? So school grammar books have traditionally taught grammar is to learn the correct rules of language, mostly for writing. They include topics such as usage, sentence structure, punctuation, parts of speech, and possibly other features that are related to school purposes, such as improved reading comprehension and development of presentation skills. Many teachers, however, have had more questions about this subject than answers. They appropriately ask, does the concept of grammar as correct usage of grammar as correct usage help my students improve their writing, reading, or speaking? Does it relate in any way to other subjects, social studies, mathematics, science? Many teachers ask or ponder why can't so many of my students remember to use a capital letter at the beginning of a sentence. Why can't they remember what a complete sentence is? They know what adjectives are, but why do I constantly have to remember or to remind them to use them? Then come the more challenging questions. How do I get my students to make their verbs agree? How can I get my ELL students to understand plurals or prepositions or verb conjugations? How can I get them to stop using double negatives? So before we can proceed to make sense of this subject and what we need to teach, we start with some definitions and concepts, because we need to have a common understanding of key terms To get us started, we provide two definitions. One is adopted from Random House web search under Brighton Dictionary 2000, and the other is from the Oxford Companion of the English Language, MC Arthur, of 1992. The definition of grammar from Random House web search and Brighton Dictionary 2000 is: first, the study of the way the sentence of a language are constructed, so including morphology and syntax. So when we study how a sentence is constructed, this is called grammar, okay? And by using the definition given by the Random House web search, okay? A set of rules accounting for these constructions. Another definition with the same, given by the same reference, which is the Random House web search. It is a set of rules accounting for this construction. This it makes reference to a sentence or phrases, okay? 3. A body of rules whose output is all of the sentences that are permissible in a given language, while excluding all those that are not permissible. Okay? So you have sentences which are permissible and others which are not. Okay? So these which are permissible is sentences which are respecting grammar rules. Yeah. Okay. So let's carry on with the definition of grammar from the Oxford Companion to the English Language, MacArthur, 1992. Is the systematic study and description of a language in terms of either syntax and morphology with aspect of phonology. So when we use this definition, for me it makes a lot, okay? It is more global definition. So it is a systematic study of the and description of the language, okay, the whole language, in terms of either syntax and morphology with aspects of phonology, so how to pronounce words, okay, sounds related to each word in this language, and orthography, so how to write them well, how to construct them, how to construct each word in this language, related to this language, okay? Semantics, pragmatics, and word formation. Probably neither of these definitions will help classroom teachers. Okay? Does the 5-year-old fluent speaker of English need to study sentence rules? What do native speakers need to study about sentence construction if they only construct standard English sentences fluently without direct instructions? On the other hand, you might ask, what about children who speak a non-standard dialect of English fluently? Which sentence constructions should they study? Their own, the teachers, the both? We also have students who speak a language other than English with varying degrees of fluency and ability. Which sentence constructions should these students start with? Should they study their own and compare them to English, or just begin with English? If we add the section definition from the Oxford Companion to the English Language MacArthur 1992, we are broadening the base of what grammar is. Should teach but now we need to know what we should teach and with what purpose or objectives. At one time, the answer to teaching grammar was not this complicated. Every student had a grammar book, and the word grammar meant parts of speech, verbs, tenses, subject and predicated, or predicate, transitive and intransitive, subjunctive and non-subjunctive, and lot of underlining such things are direct as direct object, indirect object, predicate, adjectives, predicate noun, and so forth. In fact, some students, including these others, did so much underlining that there was no time to write it. We begin with the view that grammar is the glue that holds language together. Without grammar, we have just words, phonology, or meaningful sounds, which are what many first-year foreign language students have, and very little else. All of you watching this video are likely to know words in a foreign language, Spanish, French, Italian, Chinese, or whatever language you have had some contact with, but try to say something fluently in another language, and many of you will find yourselves inarticulate because you lack the grammar. Even more difficult is to understand the other speakers. Pinker, 1994, 1999. And others learning language is innate and is universally learned when the child is very young. Okay, I hope that I gave you a little meaning or meaningful description of what grammar is and how we should interact with the word grammar rules teaching grammar, learning grammar, okay, it is important to start by mastering the rules for any foreign language whose the native language is not English, okay? So try to watch this video and rewatch it if it is if you have to, okay? Then if you have some questions, don't hesitate to put your questions in comments, okay, which I will read for sure and try to answer them as best as I can in the next video. So I wish you get some new information about English grammar language, and hope you liked the video. And of course, if you are not already subscribed, please don't forget to do it. Subscribe and turn on the notification bell in order to be notified by any new dropped video on this channel. Of course, like it, share it with your friends if you like to. See you next time. Ciao.